Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we want to take a look at Breaking Swipe Haxorus in the Go Battle League in general, in all different kind of leagues, what it can do and how it's going to function. And if you enjoy those videos, or if you want to have more of those videos in front of community days for preparation purposes, definitely leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. This is kind of a newer format. If you enjoy that one, please feel free to support this one, because I'm not really sure about that one. I don't know if people want to see stuff like this, but today we're going to take a look at the Haxorus because we're going to have the community day tomorrow. And I can say already, I'm surprised on how good this Pokemon is going to be. Definitely stay tuned. I can definitely recommend you to build some of them, and we're going to talk a little bit about this one as well then, of course. But let's take a look real quick at the community day itself. We're going to see here that it's going to happen from 2 PM till 5 PM tomorrow on Saturday. We're going to get Breaking Swipe as a move. We're going to have some very great bonuses as well. Catch status, catch XP doesn't really matter for me at least, but the catch candy bonus is going to also work with the current bonus that we have already, so we're going to get even more catch candy and more XL candy. So you're definitely going to be able to get a ton of candy and a ton of XL candy for this Pokemon, easily able to get enough for one at least for the Master League, even if you don't play for that long. You're still going to have those raids afterwards, but this is going to be, of course, the main community day here. We're not going to talk a little bit more about this, but yeah, you're going to see also on the bottom already the rank 1 IVs for this Pokemon for the Great League and Ultra League graphics here by Go Stadium, of course. Let's take a look now at some more meta-analysis stuff here. General analysis here first and foremost before we go to the single leagues here. It's better than I thought. For sure it's going to be better than I thought here actually. The move itself makes it so good, and actually things that I didn't really expect would be good in. Great for Great League, great, definitely a must-have for Master League, mainly for the Premier Cup, and versatile for a lot of different cups because you have a ton of different options with the charge moves that it has. It has like Surf, it has Night Slash, it has Earthquake, I think, and this has fast moves of Counter and Dragon Tail. Here we see the matchup for the Great League already. It's ranked 53. I didn't think about this. I thought it was like somewhere 200s, 300s or something because it's a very squishy Pokemon, but no, it's ranked 53 in the Great League, which is kind of wild. It beats Lantern, beats Galarian Stunfisk. It's a core breaker for the meta right now in general. And it's so good, to be fair. Very strong Pokemon, and we're going to take a look a little bit more about this later on as well. Here now for the Ultra League, we're going to see rank 106, and it's going to also showcase later a little bit why this is like a little bit lower than, for example, Great League, even though you have more bulk. But yeah, this is still kind of okay for this one. Again, Counter, this time around Night Slash, while for the Great League Surf is recommended. And now for the Master League, we're going to have Counter, Brutals, the Breaking Swipe there, as well as the Night Slash. Very decent there for that as well, rank 34. Master League is a little bit different though, because Master League is a little bit more narrowed down for the meta, so Master League 34 is worse than 53 in Great League in my opinion. But let's take a look at Counter in the Great League. The thing is, for this Pokemon, you need Shield. Like, this is an insane upgrade for this Pokemon. You're going to be able to have way better matchups. You see the differences on the top screen there. Compared to Dragon Claw and the Breaking Swipe. Breaking Swipe going to win you quite a bit more matchups there. Going to have a general, a very better average. While on the bottom, I'm going to see basically the matchup with a different IV spread. We're going to have a little bit more attack rate there, which will allow you to beat Sabler and Venusaur. You see already, you cannot need 151 attack rate as far as I can see that there. And this kind of more specific spread, you don't really have to have it, but still, just in general, this Pokemon seems to be a very cool Dragon-type Pokemon for the Great League right now, because it's a Dragon-type Pokemon that easily beats Steel-type Pokemon. But you need to have shields for this, so it's mainly good as a lead, or you use it as a Pokemon in the back as a closer, but then try to keep the shield so like very bulky Pokemon around it, because otherwise this Pokemon cannot function. It is horrible in a 0 shield scenario, like it literally is completely horrible there. But as soon as it goes into like 2 shield scenario or 1 shield scenario, this Pokemon really shines, and it's now one of the strongest, stronger Pokemon at least, for the Open Great League, which is interesting. And even with a little bit more attack, as you see there on the bottom, it's going to perform pretty well. But still, this Pokemon also has another very good fast move, which is going to be Dragon Tail. Dragon Tail with Counter here is going to be an interesting one. Both are really great. You see, like, there's a huge difference between those there. Some that you win, some that you lose now. But the difference is really significant. You basically have 2 Pokemon in one here. With Counter, you're going to, of course, lose against Pokemon like Kaiwei, which are going to double resist this, or even Deoxys or Charizard. All those Pokemon that you basically see that you're going to be able to win here now, were Pokemon that before were able to resist Counter. Well, now, of course, you're still going to have some other Pokemon that you lose against, but still you have basically 2 different options to play this one. Most likely, the Counter variant is still a little bit more consistent, a little bit better than Dragon Tail, even though Dragon Tail is stab and does a ton of damage. Honestly, it does a ton of damage. Still, Dragon Tail is going to have a lot of playing like restricted metas, while Counter is most likely a little bit better here because we just see more Galarian Stunfisk, more Registeel, you know, the deal there, basically also something like a Lickitung. So definitely is still a very decent one there with a Counter as well as Dragon Tail for the Great League, which I didn't expect, but the typing plus the coverage just makes this Pokemon so strong. Can't wait to use it. Next, here we're going to have Counter in the Ultra League, as we're going to see here the differences between the Breaking Stripe and Dragonclaw. Dragonclaw, of course, on top, Breaking Stripe below. You see you're going to be able to win now against quite a few new Pokemon as well, which is going to be nice. Like the Scrafty or the Cobalion, as you're going to be able to now to debuff the opponent there, which is going to be super important for those matchups. But in general, you see like an average there on the right side, which goes up by nearly 100, which is an insane buff for this Pokemon. This is going to be really strong than 2 shields, but still it's going to struggle a little bit more compared to the Great League because the opponent's Pokemon have a little bit more bulk, which is a little bit more difficult for this Pokemon because Counter doesn't allow them to farm them down as easy anymore. So for Great League, I feel like it's going to be a little bit easier to play this Pokemon compared to Ultra League because Ultra League is more about bulk than Great League, even though Great League is also a lot about bulk, but not as much. And the bulky Pokemon in the Great League are all Steel-type Pokemon, while here, for example, you have something like a Giratina, you have something like a Cresselia, and those are pretty rare. Okay, Cresselia not anymore, but especially Giratina in the Great League. But here we can also compare again Counter versus the Dragon Tail. If we compare that here, we're going to see that it's basically, again, basically like before, it's going to be 2 completely different Pokemon. You're going to be able to now beat stuff like Charizard, Kofag, Regis, Cresselia even, or the Giratina, which you weren't able before. But you're going to struggle against those Steel-type Pokemon now. So it really depends on what you want to do. But then again, while Dragon Tail seems to be better for this Pokemon here right now, why would you want to run Haxorus in the first place? Like, because it's kind of unique with Counter, right? Because they're better Dragon-type Pokemon anyway, for example, a Dragonite for the Ultra League. So most likely, while this is going to look a little bit better here against some very big meta threats, I feel like Counter just gives it a little bit more of a uniqueness that you might need a little bit more for team building compared to just the pure Dragon type damage, as this is something that at least like Dragonite, for example, can do, or like there are quite a lot of other Dragon type Pokemon that can do that as well, even Giratina with Dragon Breath. So I feel like Counter gives it a little bit more of a uniqueness. Taking a look now at the Master League. Master League Premier Cup first. Going to see here with Counter, you're going to see that you're going to be able to win against a few Pokemon. That's now the one-shot scenario here. In the one-shot scenario, you're going to win now against Hydreigon, Machamp, Primarina with Waterfall, and Ursaluna with Ice Punch, which is going to be of course beneficial for you and going to allow you to win quite a few more matchups, which is going to be very good for you in general. But the main thing here is in the two-shot scenario, you still beat exactly the Pokemon that you were beating before. Now just with a move, you're going to have more dominant matchups. So you're going to still win those matchups, but you're going to get all of those matchups with a lot more HP, which can threaten other Pokemon afterwards, or just debuff the opponents afterwards. Like if you even come in against a Steel type, you can farm them down, knock them out pretty easily without even using shields or whatever, and then comes a Fairy type in. You're still going to be able to debuff them with Breaking Swipe, which is going to be a huge deal for later on. So this Pokemon is something that you need for Master League Premier Cup. Definitely get one, definitely try to get a hundo, grind the C-Day out, try to get the XL Candy, it is worth it. It is really worth it. If you take a look now at Dragon Tail though, for the Premier Cup, no, just don't. Please don't use that one. There is like again the same argument that we had prior. There are just other Dragon type Pokemon that are just better for that one. You have even Garchomp, which is going to be a better Dragon Tail user. As well as like the Dragonite with Dragon Breath or Dragon Tail, going to be just better for that one. Here you're going to lose a few matchups that you had before, and in general you just prefer Wars. So Counter is the way to go for the Master League Premier Cup, while it can be a little bit different maybe for the Open Master League. For the Open Master League here with Counter, you're going to see it's going to be a nice upgrade. You're going to win now against something like a Groudon, a Giratina, and just in general, just again, getting a nearly a plus 100 for the average rating here is going to be very nice for Haxorus. Going to make this Pokemon definitely also kind of meta relevant, but I don't really expect to see this Pokemon that often in this meta because, yeah, like there are again better Dragon types right now, and you're still going to lose most likely against something like a Dialga, which is going to be able to still be decent against you at least. And they're not always the best matchup for that. You completely get walled by Zacian, so it's not really ideal here. but still going to be a fun one to have. And if you build one for Master League Premier, you definitely have it for the Master League anyway. It's just a fun spice pick. And for the final slide for today, I'm going to compare it again for Dragentail and Counter. And again here actually, this time around, I feel like Dragentail might be a little bit better for this kind of meta, because you're going to be able to destroy the Giratina Altered, you're going to have a better matchup against all the Giratinas anyway. You're not going to get completely hardwalled by Lugia anymore. And against stuff like Mewtwo, you can farm them down. So like the stuff that you usually see, you're gonna just do a little bit more damage. So here Dragentail actually is preferred, but the differences are not as crazy, and again, it kind of depends on how your team is built. So definitely still though, try to get yourself a Haxorus. Haxorus is a really good Pokemon for at least the Great League and the Master League. Ultra League is most likely its worst meta, but for Great League especially, I'm really curious about this one. I'm definitely going to showcase it on my channel, so subscribe if you haven't already. Check the video out then tomorrow for the Pokemon in the Great League. Maybe even to try to do 2 videos for it, one with Dragentail, one with the Counter, because I'm curious which one is better. But yeah, this is going to be it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one, and have a great rest of your day. Bye!